morning, everyone. I'll turn on the mic. Good morning, everyone. If you didn't silence cell phones, please do that. Last week's memorial display had some very interesting, unique roses, and I'd like to thank Marley Adams again for that. And I'd like to thank Kathy Kenya for last week's literature program. Today's memorial display was brought by Kim Carrier. It's a beautiful Christmas tree. Thank you so much, Kim. It's that time of year. It's snowing. And they swirl as we complete the halfway mark of Wednesday morning fall. I can't believe that we only have January, February, March after next week. Soon we're going to be looking to replace officers and chair people and other committee members. If you see Sally Hinman, Sally, could you stand so you know who you are? There's Sally.
Don't run if I come up.
We can nominate people that aren't here. Sally will be asking people if they can take positions. And I'd like you to seriously consider whether or not you are available for one of these positions. If you already have something in mind that you'd like to do, it would be most advisable that you let us know as soon as possible. Barb Radke is eagerly awaiting her presidency for the 26-28 years. And she'd love to be working with enthusiastic, dedicated members. Working together toward a common goal, planning programs of interest for all of our members. Together, we're never alone. We achieve this. The strength of a team is each individual member. The strength of each individual member is the team. Remember, as Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Dutch is not here to read the minutes from last week's meeting. Could I have a motion to dismiss the minutes? Linda Reed, second, March. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're not going to read those minutes. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, "Stillness and action are relative, not absolute principles. It is important to find a balance of yin and yang, not just in QiGong, but in everyday life." Carla Till is now going to introduce our presenter. Carla?
Before I introduce John, I would like to just give you a definition of QiGong. There are books in the Jervis Library, so if anyone's interested, but a couple of these quotes. One definition: calm your mind and restore your energy. A rush of vitality, tranquility, and spiritual connection. Another quote by this Dr. Suzanne Friedman. She's a master of medical QiGong. She encourages physical well-being and offers techniques for special medical problems. She addresses the emotional balances and spiritual interpretation. Dr. Friedman states, proper breath, posture, and mental focus are the three important components of QiGong. So I just thought I would throw that out. Okay. Now, to John. I'm good at, since we have a little time. I met John many years ago when Rotary was at the Savoy. Okay. So Sue Davidson had been on my case to come to a class. But, of course, I didn't go. I'm running around to all these other places. COVID happened. meetings at the yacht club. So, because it was outside. So I drive up Elmer Hill Road and I see one car at the yoga studio next to Delta Knoll. This is where the classes are now. So I go in there and I said, hi. I said, do you have any kind of a class for someone with 4 artificial joints? Because I don't go rolling around on a mat anymore. So she said, yes, QiGong with John Domenico. Oh, sign me up. And I've been going ever since. So that's how I got to start going to class, and I love it. Okay, how about John? John Domenico, MSB, Master of Business, what's MSB? MBS. You can explain it, okay. It's an internationally renowned teacher of yoga and Eastern concepts since 1992. He traveled internationally, providing hands-on educational experiences to students of all levels. Based in Philadelphia since 2000, a reconnect with his first love, Patty Keelan, from when he was stationed at Griffiths Air Force Base in 1963, brought him back to Rome, New York in 2010. John founded New Paradigm Fitness Incorporated in 1994 and was the senior yoga teacher for the International Sports Medicine Association and Sandals Resort from 1995 until 2019. In 2011, he opened a studio here in Rome, New York. He is accredited to teach yoga, QiGong, reformer Pilates, meditation, integrating the essence of Eastern and Western philosophies. John's balanced approach to teaching has led him to development of self-managed evolution. May I introduce John Domenico.
Yes. First of all, the MBS stands for Mind Body Specialist. Very few people have that behind it. And I'm really, first of all, impressed. Everyone showing up. And I want to thank Carla for giving me this opportunity.
Put the microphone up a little bit. Oops.
How's that? And now we're just going to show a little clip so you can get some kind of a visual as to what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, Joe?
I'd like to introduce John Domenico, who is an instructor in QiGong, a class that I take. I came upon this class during COVID when there were no exercise places open. I stopped at the yoga studio and I asked if there was any classes that I could do for artificial joints. And she said, yes, QiGong. Well, I had met John years before when he was a roller, so I said, fine. So I started the classes and I have continued. It's a stretching and balance class that is very much like a standing yoga. It has a mind and body connection as you breathe, inhale inhaling and exhaling at different points without the practice that you do. And I thought this would be a good class. Good demonstration for Dr. Schultz because the state we have officer positions, we have chairs, we have otherwise. So let's not explain what a lot of what we did is called.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. Yeah, there are a lot of Eastern disciplines like QiGong, they're all designed for one basic classroom. That whenever an individual has some kind of trauma, physically or emotionally, energy gets blocked, and to release the energy needs to be done to me. If not, it manifests disease. So this practice is about moving and paying attention so you can release blocked energy rather than have it manifest again sick. Instead of covering up with a meditation, we just move and we breathe. And so the body has what are called meridians and their energy pathways. So we do postures, 14 of them, to define all the major meridians in the body, especially the spine. And then at the end, we do a process called total body coherence. And the concept in Eastern medicine is that you will never heal. The only place that healing occurs is in present time when the mind, or the brain, and the heart are in a state of connection. So the little 3-minute thing we do at the end of the class is called total body coherence. And it's very profound and very beneficial.
So I think if you're interested in learning about QiGong, obviously there's books that you can email on it. You're always welcome to a class. John does a basic routine that's pretty steady, and for those members of the class that have done QiGong, it takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. If you are new to the class, we go through an introduction, and then the movements we will tell you as we go through the class. It still doesn't take more than a half hour. It's very good for balance. It's very good for stretching. And all of these things, as we get older, even younger people, they all need this for strength, endurance, and balance. And I have 4 artificial joints, and you know this, and I only have an acre of pain, and I just do these movements. You can do them in a hotel room, you can do them in your house, you can do them wherever you are, and it's pretty much a learned technique. It's not difficult. There's no one perfect way to do it. You just follow the instructions and watch John as he leads you through the movement.
Yeah, it's very user-friendly. Do you want me to demonstrate the total body coherence?
Yes.
Okay. So what we do at the end of the class is, at the beginning, it's essential that everyone gets grounded. So at the end of the class, we make sure we stay grounded. And there are 2 things, as I said before, the brain and the heart, to bring them into a state of coherence. We start with the brain, and we do this process called eye movements. So we just move our eyes in certain directions. NLP uses this process, and what this does is it literally changes the frequency of your brain in less than a minute and a half. They hook people up to EEG machines, and the brain waves literally are harmonized just from doing these eye movements. And then after we do the eye movements, we do a visualization with the heart. So we start with our eyes closed, and there is a hand position in yoga. It's called a mudra, where we extend the middle fingers, we fold the index and ring, and then extend the pinky press the thumb pads, and we hold that in front of our heart. This calms your mind. With the eyes closed, I just give an instruction to move the eyes in certain directions. We don't stare, we just gaze. So we start left, then we close and exhale, then we gaze down and left, close, exhale, down and right, close, up and right, then horizontally left, horizontally right, close, and then we gaze in and up at the brow point, which is normally known as the third eye. Close our eyes, undo the mudra, we clap our hands, rub our palms, and then we bring our palms to our eyes. Sometimes we see colors, sometimes we don't, and it's all good. So after we've connected and bring the brain into a state of harmony, and then we do the heart. So we bring our hands into prayer pose at the heart center. We visualize a body of water. Could be a lake or a pond. I say a word aloud. After the word is spoken aloud, the student repeats it silently to themselves. After they repeat the word silently to themselves, they transform the word into a pebble. They release it into the water, and they move the circles where they realize and know it will do their highest good. So we start with peace. We repeat that 3 times. Then we do harmony. That's repeated 3 times. Then we do laughter 3 times. And then we do love 3 times. Then we draw in a deep breath and hold it. We exhale. Again. Hold. And exhale. And one last time. And we exhale. And we always end with be grateful. Gratitude is the key to healing. Namaste. Thank you.
What about the exercise? Joe, what about all the movements?
That was the whole thing you did.
No, when you took a video of us standing and doing all the movements.
This is what we did.
I think, Joe, we did all the postures. You have a video of all the movements that we did.
I thought you wanted just as part of it.
Oh!
Sorry.
You don't have it to show them.
No, I didn't.
That's the whole thing.
Well, just explain them to us. Just do it.
I can't believe it.
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm saying.
It's all good.
All that pressure that just won't.
Oh,
You feel like playing?
Turn it on.
Is it not on?
It does now.
Okay. So fortunately, one of my students had to be a guest here today, so. Yeah, I'm gonna let you, so this is Joe McCarthy, those who don't know. And, so anyway, when we start the practice, as Carla alluded to, we come into a grounding. And then we do, one of these models. And in Chinese medicine, etc., there's what's known as tapping. okay, that we ignite the meridians in the body and start to move stagnant energy. So we begin with tapping 9 times at the eyebrows. Then on the side we tap 9. Then underneath the eye, 9. Then we tap on the crown of the head 9 times. Back of the skull. And then the kidneys. And then there's another process where we clap 9 times. Then we go into the elbows, the crook of the elbow. And this is called cupping. So you take your hand and you cup, so it's each side 9 times. And then the armpits. This is great for your heart and everything in your body. Okay? So that's the beginning. And then we start with grounding. So we close our eyes and we ground. And we do a thing called angel breath, where we interlace the fingers, rest your chin, squirt through your thyroid, your chin onto your knuckles, and as you inhale, your elbows come up to the sky. Hold, you look to the ceiling, exhale, and you come all the way back to where you began. Okay, inhale, and exhale. Let's pause 1 second. Those of you who'd like to stand up, you're welcome to. Make it a little easier for you. You don't need to stay seated. Okay? So we do the 6 breaths. Okay, angel breaths. And you want the exhale to be longer because it helps to eliminate the CO2 at the base of your lungs. Wonderful. Okay, and then we begin the practice. So that's kind of a warm-up, and once you know the practice, that takes less than 5 minutes to do the practice. There are 2 postures. The first posture is where your feet are directly under your shoulders, your knees are soft, your spine is nice and vertical, and you just relax. Okay. And it's called a microcosmic orbit. So on the inhalation, you imagine jumping rope, you create a gigantic circle all the way up. And then as you exhale, you run your hands palms down right in front of the midline of your body all the way back to the earth. Okay, again, microcosmic orbit. Then we begin the practice. So the first move is called reading palms. So one palm is at eye level, the other palm is in front, the left palm is at eye level, the right palm is in front of your belly button. And as you inhale, you're going to turn to the left, read the palm, exhale, read it down to your hip. Inhale, read it up. The other palm, turn all the way the other way, and read it down. Again, inhale up, turn, exhale down. Inhale up, turn, exhale down. Again. And now we take the palm and read it all the way to the sky. So we inhale up, exhale down. And it's called reading palms, so your eyes stay focused on the center of your palm. And one more. And then we do another microcosmic orbit. And then we do what's called complete breathing. So we imagine a sphere about the size of a grapefruit right in front of your belly button. Left palm is on top. On the inhale, you're going to imagine that you pour energy from your right palm into your left. And on the exhale, left back to right. So breathe in, breathe out. And then we do another microcosmic orbit. Then we go into the third posture. I'm sorry, let's back up. So this is why we were hoping to have a video. Yes?
I feel like I'm breathing too fast. It is, I thought it was supposed to be relaxing. Are you just moving a little quicker because you're demonstrating? or-
Yes, exactly, yeah, thank you, yeah. So backing up, the first move before reading palms, let's go over that so you can get a sense of it, okay? So, ladies, go ahead, inhale, bring it up to your heart. No, the first move. So we inhale, we pull the sphere up to your heart. You hinge forward, extend your arms parallel to the floor. Do a backstroke coming up. Sweep the arms skyward and press up. And you come back. And again, pull it up to your heart. Backstroke up. Coming up. Now your palms are skyward. We're going to move from the wrist down your hands. We're going to inhale 3 times. Exhale 3. Splay the fingers, same breath. Sweep the arms up and exhale, come back down. Microcosmic orbit. Complete breath. And then another microcosmic orbit. Then we move into the third posture where the next stance is called horse and rider. So your feet are wider than your shoulders. And it's called that so you can imagine you're sitting in a saddle. It's great for your quads. Hands are on your hips. And only the upper trunk is going to move. So we take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we laterally take the trunk all the way to the left. Do a 360 all the way around. And then we do it to the right. Exhale all the way around. And again, left. And right. Again. And we come back. In the beginning, microcosmic orbit. Complete breath. Another orbit. Then we go back to horse and rider. And this is where we throw punches. This helps to release any stored up release. Okay, so we start with the right fist, and as you throw the punch, you're going to exhale, splay your fingers, and then we inhale and pull energy back into the body. Left, right, left, right, and left. Then we take both fists out to the side. And then both forward. Coming back, microcosmic orbit, complete breath. Microcosmic orbit, and complete. Okay, now there's, some of you are playing, which is great. Some of you are not playing, which is also great. There's 14 of these, and rather than go through the whole set, this gives you an idea that every one of these movements is designed to release blocked energy in the body. So what our culture has kind of gravitated to is that instead of saying yes to the pain and processing it through movement and breathing, we tend to put medication to mask it. So the practice is designed where you can just heal yourself through breathing, moving, and paying attention. Okay? So, thanks ladies, appreciate it. So what I'd like to do is, I have a handout, I'd like to, put somebody. Any questions before we, move forward?
Does anyone need more? I have a few more.
Okay, so as Carly alluded to, she gave you a couple. This is called Blue Dragon QiGong. It's also known as medical QiGong. And blue refers to kidney essence, which is a reservoir for genetic material. The dragon is a symbol of immortality. Qi is energy, and Gong is how we cultivate the energy. So, it comes from China, but again, that's the definition. So there's three essential factors: is breathing, maintaining a quiescent or inactive mental state, and we harmonize internal organs through movement. Okay. Qigong is also what's known as autophagy, which is the body's ability to cleanse itself. It can create a theta brain state. So, if you're not familiar with brain states, when we're totally awake during the day, we're in beta. And then when we're daydreaming, it's called alpha. And if you move into theta, it's kind of self-hypnosis. It's where you're receptive to a lot of triggers in the environment. Okay. It creates heart-brain coherence, and ultimately, because it's called medical, it also creates an artificial fever in your body so that it burns off bacteria and other toxins. Okay. Now, I know those of you who are doing it or watching, the science behind this is somewhat based a lot on Nikola Tesla's theory around the numbers 3, 6, and 9. So each one of the poses, the breaths, and everything, you're going to fall into one of those increments, either 3 or 6 or 9. Okay? So, any questions? No one? Yes.
What's the brainwave state if you're sleeping?
You go into delta.
Okay.
Okay, delta is deep sleep. And then the one after that is called gamma. And if any of you are familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, he does his workshops with thousands of people and moves everyone literally into a gamma brain state, seated just as you are now. Don't ask me how he does it with magic or whatever. And you have to do the research, but conditions that people think could never disappear from your body vanish during the workshop. So that's gamma, which is 10 times the speed of beta. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I would like, if you wouldn't mind, I will read this and you can read along with me, okay? We're going to the portion where it says reality. Everybody with me? Okay. Reality is what we believe to be true. What is true is what we believe. Our beliefs are structured on perception. Our perceptions are formed by what we look for. What we look for is a result of our thoughts. What we think depends on what we perceive. Perception determines what we believe. What we believe dictates what we accept to be true. And what we accept to be true is our reality. So, what does that mean? Anyone?
Everybody has different truths.
Pardon me?
Everybody has different truths.
Yeah. And so, yeah, no, I didn't. So, when you said everyone has different truths,
Yes.
well, is there only one truth?
No.
Well, there's not. Oh. Okay.
John, what about the truth to believe in yourself?
Well, I'm getting to that. So, okay. So, let's.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, it's perfect. All right, let's do a little technique. Okay. This I don't know how many of you do yoga or practice any of these practices. Okay, but the theory is that the human body has two types of energy. Okay. We can call them solar, lunar. You can call them masculine, feminine, or positive, negative. It doesn't matter. Okay. So the left side of the human body, not the brain hemispheres, is considered to be feminine energy. The right side is considered masculine. Okay? Now, let's all just do a little exercise here. I'd like you to sit up straight. Okay, take your dominant hand and you're going to press your finger on your right nostril. And you're going to breathe in and out through your left nostril. If you're left-handed, it's fine. Just start with one. You're going to breathe in and out through a nostril, and just notice how the breath moves in and out of the nostril. Okay, now pause. Just take a normal breath through both. And now switch. Go to the other nostril and take 3 breaths. And take a breath in. What did some of you notice, possibly? Pardon me? You felt equal. Wow. You guys were all like balanced. Actually, one nostril is a little bit more passive than another. If you do it again, if you're just paying attention. Okay? So what that means is that you're in that energy. So if your right nostril is dominant, then you're into your masculine energy. You're into hot solar energy, positive. What should someone be doing when they're in that? Well, obviously, activity. Okay? When you're in the other nostril, it's relaxing, passive, cooling. So it's sort of against who you are as a human to be doing things that would go against that energy. So I always say that when you go out to dinner, and the nostril will change every 90 minutes. So 90 minutes from now, whatever you were in, it should switch to a different state. Again, if you're a balanced individual. Okay? So when you go out to eat, before you order your meal, you should check your nostril to make sure that you're not in the left side, because you might fall asleep when you're eating. Happened, hasn't it? Okay, so I just wanted to give you that little experience, because there's a lot more to this than just words. Okay. Okay. So where I want to go now is maybe take you down the rabbit hole a little bit. Okay. Everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Oh, before that, how many of you are familiar with kinesiology? Kinesiology? Good, good. So for those of you that aren't, I'm going to allude to this gentleman because he's written several books. But the one book that is extremely profound and is a real wake-up call, and was for me, the author's name is David Hawkins. He's an MD and a PhD. And he wrote a book called Power versus Force. Okay? And in Power versus Force, his bottom line is that the body and your human heart will never ever tell a lie. So the body always will tell the truth. It's just your mind and your ego that kind of trick you up. Okay? So it's done with kinesiology, which is muscle testing. And he performed these experiments in front of thousands of people. He would have people stand up. One person would stand next to the next, and another person would hold their arm. And at the same time, these people were holding a blank envelope in front of their chest. And when they put the envelope in front of the chest, and then they did it, you press down, and if your body went weak, then it meant that whatever was in the envelope was harmful. Okay, by the same token, if there was something positive in the envelope, you would stay strong. And what happened when everyone went weak, believe it or not, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but was a packet of sweetened love. Okay? So the body knows the difference between what's harmful and what's not. So where I've gotten to this, where the experiment really works, is instead of reading a label when I go to the grocery store, I just take whatever it is I think I might want, I just place it on my heart. And when I place it there, if my body goes forward, it's okay. If it doesn't, if I don't move, it doesn't matter. But if I go backwards, it's absolutely something I should not partake in. And it works every time. Okay? So, questions? Yes.
Well, the whole process of these movements takes, I thought someone said about 20 minutes? 25
Yes,
minutes?
yeah.
And how often would you do that?
How
often should one do that?
Okay, these practices, the catch line with them is that if you do it once a week, it has a benefit. So it'll go into the bank account. If you do it twice, so there's no limit. You could do it, I do it every day, or, but there's no prescription as to, once is good, 3 times is really great, etc. Okay. Anyone else?
If there's no more questions about the Qigong, I really would like, there's plenty of time, I'd like you to explain the Pilates reformer. I don't know if they all know about that, so I just want to get that at the back of your mind.
Okay. Continuing down the rabbit hole. Okay, so going back to David Hawkins. He wrote a book, as said, called Power versus Force. And in this book, this is over 35 years of investigation, that he took every human emotion and gave it on a graph a number. Okay, so it went from the lowest emotion all the way to what could be considered the highest. Okay? The highest emotion is called peace. And it has a number, and the number is 600. Hardly anyone is at that number. And the way he could gauge it, he could take, if he was here, he's passed away, but he could take anyone from the audience and just ask the question and could find out what level they were at based on kinesiology, muscle testing. Okay? And it goes peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, and courage. Courage is 200. Then the bottom ones are pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and the bottom is called shame. It's a 20. So we go from 20 to 600. Okay. Now the reality of it is that you, based on this study, that if you're not at 200, no matter what you're doing, you'll never heal. You will stay in the state that you are right now until. Okay? So, if you're at 200 in courage, then you got a shot at waking up, so to speak.
What were the other 200s?
What was 200?
Besides courage, what was the other?
Oh, the elevated ones?
In 200, what was the other category besides courage?
That's it. In
Just
other words,
courage.
200 courage is where you
Okay.
have an opportunity to heal, to heal, and wake up.
John, how do you get to that point? You're saying that you're not at 200, it's not good for your body. So how do you get to that point?
You have a willingness to notice that you're stuck and do some work to wake up.
Like what?
That would be up to you.
John, I have a question.
See, I told you we were going down a rabbit hole. Okay, so let me just shift here a second and go to this other research. From 0 to 6 years old, every human is in a theta brain state. You with me? What did I say that was before? Self-hypnosis. So as a child, depending on who the mentors are, the parents, siblings, teachers, etc., whatever information, exposure that is presented to you in your environment, guess what it does? Creates your life path. It's your reality. That's what I just read to you. So whatever you're taught to believe, whatever, all of those things become your personality. With me so far? Okay. Now, the irony of it is that as a child, when you have an experience, whatever that experience is, if it's incomplete, it goes into your subconscious. Your subconscious is 95% of your personality. You don't even know that you're operating out of your subconscious. You react to triggers in the environment. The subconscious mind is able to process 400 million bits of information every second. Can you wrap your head around that? The conscious mind, only 40. Okay? So, to answer your question, there are ways in which you can rewrite your subconscious. They're very simple. You don't need any drugs. You don't need a doctor. You do it on your own. That help?
I wouldn't even know how to run it.
Pardon me?
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, that's why I'm here. Because I can show you that. Okay? It's very simple. But again, you have to have a willingness to want to move through. So, what all is saying is when you're below the level of courage, you just don't have any desire to change where you are. You're stuck.
What if you're happy?
Well, then,
What if you're at that level, but you're content with your life? Thank you for
what do you mean when you're into angry thoughts all the time, you're happy?
No.
Well, then I don't
Well,
want.
how do you judge where you're at?
I just told you that we do it with muscle testing. We just figure out what level you would be at. It's pretty simple. Because your body's not going to tell a lie. It's only your ego that gets in the way of the whole thing. Only your ego. I mean, look at the state of the universe right now. We're all messed up. Yes.
I'm just curious, like in general, I've only heard about this once or twice recently, actually. How can you tell us a story or give us an example of some individual or some people that you know where this has made an extreme change in their life or has really helped them? Or is it, just curious?
Well, I don't know how much of my bio that Carla read, but I guess I was the vice president of a corporation when I was 50 years old. I was married, I had on paper everything you'd ever want, a beautiful wife, 2 children, picket fence. And I went to a yoga class. It was called Bikram Yoga. And I had an epiphany. I woke up. Okay, and then for the next 30-some years, I've been on this path teaching these practices. Okay, now, in 2022, as a result of, I won't even get into the details, but I had a massive stroke. I had a stroke that when I was in rehab, they said that people are still in wheelchairs is what I had. Okay? Now, how did I manage to get out of it or come back? Is that, and this is the whole crux of where I'm going down this rabbit hole. When you have pain or anything affects you, most people have a tendency to figure out who was responsible or what was responsible for the outcome. So it's called blame, or finding fault with something outside of yourself. Okay? And the way in which you eliminate suffering totally is that everything that happens in your space, you need to say yes to it. Okay? So whatever's going on, instead of, because this catch line is that resistance causes persistence. Whatever you resist will persist. Okay? So if you want to get out of maybe none of you or some of you don't have any suffering going on, etc., that's fine. Then as a child, the input that you had was nurturing, was positive, and loving. Okay, so you're operating at a level much higher than 200. But if you were like myself, who grew up in an environment where it was totally negative, that's who you become. They did a study with 4-year-olds, and they found out that 75% of the verbal input that they received during the day is what they were doing wrong and why they shouldn't be doing it. 75% of the verbal input, called criticism. Okay? Now, nobody's wrong there in that those that are doing the criticizing, guess what? They just had the baton pass. Okay, so there's a thing in I'll call it Buddhism, it's called anicca, and it's the ability to adapt to each moment, to transmute the constant human stream of circumstances, i.e. pain and pleasure, into bliss by just saying yes. Because every time you resist and say no, what do you think happens? You suffer. That's why they say that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Questions?
So, to say yes to what?
Everything.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Okay, well, when I had my stroke, I didn't find fault with anyone. I just said, hey, yes. It was my responsibility. I owned it. You know, the medical industry would have causes, labels, etc.
Well, what if you get calls? Say, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Are you saying yes to everything?
No. Let's kind of
Accepting your reality.
look at the big picture here, okay? I'm not talking.
I need the big picture.
When I'm talking about when you have a car accident, what's the first thing you do?
Call my husband.
No. Hey! No, the first thing you do is you say it was their fault.
Oh, no.
Okay, you don't,
No.
but 9 out of 10 people do.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it if it's somebody else's fault. So why waste time?
That's what you said.
Yeah.
So yes, this is what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's say you contract cancer.
Yeah.
Can you say yes to that?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're in great shape.
So that goes back to what you were saying about the 200 levels. She's not at the 200
No,
levels.
she's
She's up
way
higher
above.
than
Yeah,
that.
she's probably at 400. You're the poster child.
So the word yes really means you're accepting the circumstance as it is.
Yes, in the moment.
Okay.
In the moment. No deliberation, nothing to think about, nothing to, etc. How much? We're over. Oh my God. Sorry. Any other questions? Yes.
So this process or these exercises will take away physical pain if you do them religiously, I mean, and
Once you wake up, accept responsibility and change your subconscious stream of thoughts, yes. Okay, yeah, I got that, we're overtime, right?
No, it says my hand's gonna be fixed.
Oh, the other thing is at studio, I do this, reformer Pilates, it's a machine that you do exercise on, and, it cultivates your core. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Joe, for your help today. Did I have a motion to adjourn? Linda Berry, second the motion, Phyllis Didio, all in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned, we'll see you next week for the holiday concert at First Methodist Church.